What's going on, guys? It's Coach G and Coach Henry from Final Round Training. We're here to bring you the beginner's guide to boxing footwork.
From trash to class in a real quick second. All right, guys?
All right, the first thing we're going to start with is that boxing stance and rhythm. You need to have good rhythm if you want to have good punching and good footwork. The first thing we want to do is make sure that you're in the correct stance. I always like using a mirror because it's a good way to mimic looking at an opponent. So once you got your stance down, we're going to go right into the rhythm. Rhythm is very important in boxing. We're simply moving forward and backwards, but we want to make sure we're sitting and learning to shift our weight from one side to the other. Once you have the motion down, sitting, we're moving forward and back. Then we can add some punches and we can go into doing different types of movement off of that rhythm.
All right, guys. So once you got your rhythm down, we're going to start to add some movement in. Whenever your weight starts to shift forward, that's when you want to start stepping with your lead leg first. All right, moving forward, keeping the same distance in your legs. Now to move backwards, you got to use your back leg first, and you keep that same distance in the leg every time in rhythm. So now you're shifting your weight back. Now the next part for your movement is moving laterally. Easiest way to start is going with the lead leg. So lead leg is going to go left. All right, if you're a right-handed fighter, you're going to start stepping with that left leg, keeping the same space in the stance. Left leg first, and the right leg follows all the way down to the next bag. To move to your right, easy enough. You're going to use your right leg going first over to the right if you're a right-handed fighter, all right? It's just the opposite if you're southpaw to move, all right, guys? Nice, even stance legs, keeping the rhythm.
Now, once you understand how to move forward and backwards comfortably and moving side to side, then we're going to work on some pivoting. When you're pivoting, we want to always go on the forward motion. So when the weight is in the front and loaded, I can then turn because the back leg is light. If we wanted to switch directions, we can go to the right, and it's the same thing. I'm still waiting till my weight shifts all the way to the front before I pick up that back leg and move it. Once you got the pivoting down, then we can start working on quarter turns. When somebody comes in on you and you need to get out of the way, the quarter turn is always going to be your best friend. You can quarter turn to the left or you can quarter turn to the right. But no matter which way you go, that weight is still shifting on that front leg. Now it's time to work on some shuffling. Shuffling your feet and learning to be light on your feet with different types of movement is very important in boxing. So whether we're shuffling forward and back, we're still maintaining the rhythm the entire time. We're just moving our feet quicker, trying to make sure that our feet never come too close together or go too far apart. Once we got the forward and backward shuffling down, then we switch to lateral shuffling. We want to make sure that we can stay in our stance the entire time. If I'm facing an opponent, I never want to be squared up to them in boxing. I always want to keep my angle. So I have to learn to move quick laterally while maintaining that angle. Then we move on to the last one, and the one that's a little trickier. We want to learn to shuffle in a circular motion. We want to shuffle around. We need to pivot and shuffle at the same time. You have to practice all of the other motions first so that you can learn to be light on your feet and you can bounce around, and shuffling side to side will become a lot easier.
So that's our tips and drills for better footwork. Easy movement as a beginner. If you guys need any more advice, if you want to learn how to do some southpaw work, or maybe you want to get fancy and become a switch stance fighter, put some comments down at the bottom. I'll hook you up. All right, guys? Good luck out there.